Morning, everyone. My name is Joella Rowland, and I'm the Executive Symposium and Manuscripts Editor for the Journal of Business and Technology Law. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Journal of Business and Technology Law Symposium, The Impact of the First Amendment on American Businesses, here at the University of Maryland Francis King Carey School of Law. This event, sponsored by the Hugh Family Fund for Intellectual Property Law, has had record turnout. So thank you all for making that possible. In addition, there are countless individuals who have helped put this event together. In particular, I would like to thank the Associate Director of the Business Law Program, Professor Hillary Hansen, and my Associate Symposium Editor, Chris Barezzo, for helping with all the logistical details. I'd also like to thank all the speakers and moderators for taking time out of their busy schedule to join us today. This symposium will include 3 panel discussions and 2 keynote speakers and cover the impact of the First Amendment on American businesses from all different angles, including health, technology, and religious exemptions. Despite the fact that the First Amendment has been around for centuries, the law surrounding the amendment as it relates to businesses has been fluid. Today should provide some clarity on the impact that this amendment is currently having on American businesses. This morning, we are honored to begin our symposium with a very special guest, the Dean of our law school, Donald Tobin. Dean Tobin is a nationally recognized authority on tax and election law and is an experienced academic administrator. He joined our law school in July of last year after serving as the dean and a professor at Ohio State University's Moritz College's College of Law for 13 years. Prior to joining the Moritz faculty, Tobin was an appellate attorney for the U.S. Justice Department and a law clerk for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit. Please join me in welcoming Dean Donald Tobin.
Thank you, Joella, and thank you all for being here today. It's a pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the entire law school community. Exploring new territory is a well-established tradition here at Maryland Carey Law. I'm convinced it's part of what we do as an institution. It's part of our institutional DNA, and that our business law and our intellectual property programs certainly share this DNA. So does our annual Journal of Business and Technology Law Symposium, or what we refer to as the JBTL Symposium. The annual JBTL Symposia are acquiring a reputation for being both prescient and interdisciplinary. Last year's event explored the legal, medical, business, and policy challenges posed by the incidence of concussions among athletes at levels long before 24-year-old Chris Borland walked away from his multi-million-dollar contract with the 49ers because of his concern on head injuries. This year's symposium is just as cutting edge. It explores the new and still highly dynamic intersection of technology, business, and First Amendment law. As we will discuss today, a series of court decisions have expanded the constitutional protections of corporations in the areas of both commercial speech and religion. At the same time, changing technologies have generated complicated new questions about consumer privacy and what we mean by speech. Today's event will probe how those legal and technological changes have affected 2 vital sectors of American business: healthcare and new digitally based media companies. It will also explore the religious rights of corporations. As a story in the New York Times reported this week, the First Amendment protections of all these businesses are of increasing interest to scholars and researchers across the country. Events like these are always collaborations. There are many, many people I'd like to thank for making today possible. Alumnus Itai Hu, class of '97, for his generous support that he has made for today's symposium and has made today's symposium possible. He's a partner and IP lawyer with Alston & Bird in Palo Alto, and had hoped to join us today for the symposium, but he is in Asia on client business. I want to thank our 2 keynote speakers, Travis LeBlanc, Chief of the Enforcement Bureau Federal Communications Commission, and Professor Tamara Piety of Tulsa Law School. Our panelists, there's more than a dozen today of outstanding practitioners and scholars from across the country. Thank you for being with us. Several of our faculty members who helped make today possible, Professor James Grimmelman and Michelle Harner, directors of our intellectual property and business law programs respectively. Thank you very much for providing guidance to the student editors of the Journal of Business and Technology Law and for moderating 2 of today's panels. Professor Kathleen Hoke for moderating our 3rd panel, and Professor Danielle Citron for delivering our closing remarks. Joella Rowland, 3L JBTL Executive Symposium editor, for taking the lead in organizing today's event. I was going to smile and say hello, but all right. And Hillary Hansen, the Associate Director of Business Law Program, for helping her in that regard.